Hi everyone, today we're going to be taking a look at Zorin OS, another great Linux distro. Let's get right to it. So here we are on the Zorin OS website, and I just wanted to show you the additions here. So if we go to download Zorin OS, we can see the different options right here. So Zorin OS Pro is this one right here, and this is actually a Linux distro you have to pay for. That's very unusual, but it basically is just a donation, just like if you were to make a donation to them. But it also has a few more features. So it has more pre-installed apps, which you could just install normally, but it also has more layouts, and I'll show you the layout in a minute. But there are different layouts for Zorin OS. Alright, so now we have the core right here. So this is what I am going to show you, and I'm also going to show you Lite. So Lite runs on low spec computers, so older ones Lite runs great on. And so we can compare the Zorin OS editions right here. So I'll leave this link in the description. But if we go to system requirements, we can see the requirements right here. So Zorin OS Core, or any of the regular versions, we have 1 GHz dual core, 2 GB of RAM, and a few other things. The Lite 1 GHz single core and 1 GB of RAM. Now I have virtual machines for both of these, and I'm going to test out the Lite with 1 GB of RAM. And I guess they're planning to create a version for the Raspberry Pi in the future, so that will be nice. Anyway, let's take a look at this. So I have both versions installed here in virtual machines, like I mentioned, and we can see the tour right here. So if we click start tour, we can just see some things here. So I'm just going to close out of that on there. So we have the regular and the Lite version. And so I was able to adjust some scaling things on the regular version, but not on the Lite version. And I wasn't able to do fractional scaling, so it may be a little small. So if we take a look at the menu, for example, it's basically the same on both. There are a few differences, but for the most part, it is the same. If we take a look at the file manager, we can see this is definitely different. So if we take them both like that, we can see the sidebar looks different and the top area. So they're a little bit different file managers. This UI on the regular one looks a little better, but it also uses more resources. So if we take a look at Zorin appearance on both, we can see some layouts right here. So the core has more than the Lite, but on both of them we can get more layouts by upgrading to Zorin OS Pro. But this is the default on both. But if we switch it to these, it's more like the older versions of Windows, like Windows XP, for example. Then if we switch to these, it's kind of like the Ubuntu thing that was really glitchy just because I don't have much graphics memory in this virtual machine. But anyway, that's basically like Ubuntu. Then we can see these. And the icons are in the middle like this, so it's like a dock. And then we have our icons right here. Then if we switch to this option, we have, it shows this, but I'm not seeing anything here. So I'm not exactly sure what that's about. Well, I guess you have to do this. So if you want an application, you have to actually go up here, then click on it. I don't really like that one so much, just because it's kind of inconvenient. Then we have our workspace switcher right here, and then we can see, I'll just put it on the regular. So the other ones we can get, like this newer Windows one and the regular Ubuntu one, and stuff like that. This one, which is probably like a macOS one, Then the theme, we can customize this color. So Zorin OS has a lot of theming options, and they're kind of themed to look like other operating systems, at least in the layout, because this is meant for if people are, getting started with Linux, it's kind of a familiar layout. So that's kind of how Linux Mint is too. This offers many different operating systems, whereas Mint is mostly like focused on Windows. And then we can see the background right here. So this is the light, and then we have the automatic, and then we have the dark right here. And if we take a look at these, we have the same options right here. And then we can customize these if we would like to other themes, and we could install themes like on a normal distro. There we go, back to defaults. Then we can see the interface. We can customize the title bar buttons, animations, jelly mode, which is like this, and other stuff like that. I just realized there's an option to make the font bigger, so I did that in case you're watching this on a small screen. Alright, that is basically it for the theming. Now let's take a look at basic usage. So I'm just going to switch over to Zorin OS, the regular one, so we can just focus on that. Okay, so we have this menu, which is basically like the start menu in Windows. And then we have some things pre-installed. So say we go to Office, we have LibreOffice pre-installed, which is basically a free version of Microsoft Office. It kind of works in a similar way. And we have some other software right here. So internet, we have the Firefox web browser pre-installed. So we can see right here, we have these. They've got their own start page right here. We can just use it like normal. So say we go to my channel. There we have it. And that is just a regular web browser. Then we have the file manager. You can just use these like any other Linux distro. So it's just kind of, it looks a little bit different, but it's kind of the same as most distros. Then we have some system tools and graphics. So we have GIMP installed, basically a free version of Photoshop, and a few other things there. So now I wanted to take a look at the performance of Zorin OS Lite. Now the thing is, we can't really simulate an old computer without actually running it on an old computer, but I have like one virtual core on this processor, 1 GB of RAM. I did up the video memory because I couldn't get it to go full screen without crashing. So let's open up some things and see how much RAM it uses. So let's go to Firefox. Alright, here is our RAM usage. So we have this, so we're using over half of the RAM on the system. So let's just open up another tab with Superuser Project Idle. And now let's open up LibreOffice Writer. And I noticed just the CPU is definitely slower on this compared to Zorin OS Core. But this may be kind of what you would get on an older computer. And what happened there? I would definitely recommend Zorin OS Lite over the regular if you're on an older computer. If it runs Windows 10 well, it should run Zorin OS Core well. But if it doesn't, then try Zorin OS Lite, although there's lighter options out there such as Lubuntu. Now Zorin OS versus Linux Mint. That's another thing that I wanted to take a look at. I'm almost done right here, but I just wanted to talk about one more thing. Zorin OS and Linux Mint both kind of have the focus on people coming from Windows. Zorin OS also on other operating systems such as macOS and other Linux distros, but the UI is kind of a similar layout to those. So if you're switching from Windows, what would I recommend between Linux Mint and Zorin OS? Well, if you like the UI of Zorin OS, give it a try, but for most people I would recommend Linux Mint just because it's very popular, it's got very good support, and it does have a Windows-like UI. I would say the Zorin OS UI looks better than Mint, but the layout is kind of the same, and they're very similar in a lot of ways, so I would say either one would be kind of similar. So that's about it for this video. I just wanted to mention that I've been testing out Linux Mint and I'm really liking it. I may make it my main operating system on my PC. I use Windows, macOS, and Linux, so it's not like one is really my main, but I'm really liking Mint so far. I'm sure I would like Zorin OS, but I'm going to stick with Linux Mint. Alright, that is it for this video. If you enjoyed Zorin OS, maybe give it a try, download it. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like down below, and if you haven't subscribed, consider subscribing. We will see you next time.